This is a video responding to Warran Pollock's video that he showed me. He sent me a link to a video, to a private video, and I've decided to download it and upload it to my channel as unlisted, and you can check out that video below. And he considered that video to be racist and propaganda. Now, whether or not it's racist is a matter of opinion, but that was not the objective of the video. You can pick it apart and call it whatever you want to call it, but the core of the video was to show that capital allows Americans to live a better lifestyle. For example, a person who has a shovel will make less money than the person who has a backhoe. That capital of the backhoe is what provides you with the higher standard of living, and not only because it's because it's a backhoe that allows you to shovel a lot more dirt. It allows you to accomplish something a lot faster, so somebody else can produce something else that will help somebody in the future accomplish something faster as well. And that is part of our productive capacity, part of our wealth that provides us with a higher standard of living. Now, the issue that we have, the issue that me and Warren don't see eye to eye on, is the fact that he says that government should work towards building infrastructure to help with the economy. Now, the problem with that is that infrastructure for infrastructure's sake has two large problems. One is governments tend to overspend and do the wrong things, create the wrong infrastructures for the wrong reasons. And the reason why is because there's people involved in this, and they want to earn more money from this spending. So they will tend to skim some off the top. Not only that, governments have no mandate to ensure that this particular infrastructure that they build is useful in some way. And so we'll end up with a lot of bridges to nowhere, fixing of roads that don't need fixing, and so forth. And adding roads that don't need to be added. Because the government has there's no real motive to get to an end result. It's just that the general public wants this particular item, and they might not be a real economic reason for it. When there's no economic reason for it, it does not help build capital. Proof of that you would say, well, wait a minute, we got all the roads from the government, but the government should not have got involved in building those roads. Proof of that is that the railroad system was not built by the government, yet someone was able to determine through their mind that, hey, listen, you know what, if I build this railroad from here, thousands of miles of railroad, and I know how much it's going to cost me to maintain it, how much it's going to cost me to build it, and so forth. And what I'm going to make from that railroad, they were able to produce that railroad and make sure that it actually had value to someone else in order for them to come and make income to cover the cost for that production. And that is real production of real wealth, because once you create something that will definitely create an income that produce real wealth, and you know that for sure, you are building our higher standard of living. Governments don't do that. Only individuals who see potential, see value, and have an invested interest really in in making sure that this whatever venture that they have is valuable to society or to individuals and so forth, other individuals, that we will begin to profit. Now, again, if you guys watch this video and you think, well, you know what, Warren's wrong, I don't want you to say that. I don't want to say that Warren is wrong. I want you to say we should give Warren and people like Warran Pollock to an opportunity to try their ideas and so forth with smaller localized governments. And the reason why is because with smaller localized governments, you can keep an eye on what the money is being spent. So if you believe that the government can provide you with everything properly, then you need to be able to keep an eye on what they're doing. And localized government allows you to do that. My next video, which I'm going to show you a part of, it's also linked below, explains how I envision proper role of government.
When talking about fulfilling its functions, we can see that the smaller and more localized a government is, the more efficient it is. We can also see that smaller governments are more representative as well. The village to the east of our original village has a government that is much more active in its inhabitants' lives. It has been this way for generations, and the population is happy for the government to dictate whose turn it is to fetch the water and how people can build their houses. There is also a tax on the household's daily hunt so that the entire population can be fed at the community feast each night. This is a tradition that is shared by 15 of the region's villages. The village to the west does not share this tradition, and its inhabitants are free to keep their food to themselves. On the whole, the inhabitants of both villages are satisfied with the status quo. If someone from the eastern village feels that their tradition is beneficial because it helps build community, he can travel to the western village and attempt to convince the population of its merits. If his campaign is successful, he will persuade the western village to adopt the tradition, and they can enforce it by law. There is nothing wrong with this, because if the laws are changed, it will only be because the population was in favour of it. But what happens if the individual from the eastern village is unsuccessful? He refuses to give up, utterly convinced of the superiority of his village's position on the issue, even if the western village cannot see it. He then convinces the 15 villagers who share the tradition to vote for the central regional government to assume authority over laws regarding food distribution. While this is a very simplified example, the principle is sound. The smaller government is, the more likely they are to legislate according to the region's unique needs, and the easier it is for the region's inhabitants to influence the policies that affect them. When governments get bigger and more centralized, diversity becomes harder to take into account when legislating, and for those in the minority position, influencing policy becomes almost impossible. The brutal truth about democracy is that the majority rules, and the laws can never represent the views of each individual. This is why the best interest of individuals is to keep governments as small and localized as possible, so that the majority is a small enough number that policy can be easily changed to suit the electorate, and so people can choose the government or village that best suits their views.
And cut.
Here you go.
You're joking, right? What's this?
Your payment.
I don't think so. This is what I'm looking for.
So are we going to hold up and then say it? Or?
Yeah, hold up and say it.
Okay, so we start here.
Okay.
Okay, let's do 3, 2, 1, and then we'll come up.
Okay.
That'll be the go.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Gold and silver is money and nothing else.